Indochina, three ancient kingdoms, linked by one mighty river. A mystical land shaped by the forces of the Mekong and the Monsoon. A region ravaged by war. But like a phoenix from the ashes, now reborn. Its forests teeming with life. Within its boundaries can be found 1/10 of the world's species and some of the most unique ecosystems on the planet. This is Indochina, land of the Mother River. Indochina is the region of Southeast Asia that encompasses Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Three lands linked by one of the world's great rivers. The mighty Mekong, which rises in the icy plateaus of Tibet and flows through 6 countries to the South China Sea, almost 3,000 miles from its source. Our journey begins in the region's dense tropical rainforests, ecosystems renowned for their rich biodiversity of primate species. Each morning, the canopy is filled with the calls of yellow-cheeked gibbons. Family troops use these sounds to mark out their territory. Their cries can be deafening. Dawn chorus over, this female and her offspring settle down to play. The canopy is the perfect place for a youngster to show off. Gibbons are, in fact, the best swingers on the planet. They can reach speeds as high as 34 miles an hour and swing up to 50 feet from branch to branch. Playtime over, this youngster decides it's time to rest. Hanging by one arm is the common way for gibbons to relax. Long fingers and powerful limbs enable them to hold on for over an hour without moving. But life in the canopy isn't just about having fun. There's a serious reason why these gibbons spend their entire lives up here. Ground level is the realm of predators, and this low-flying youngster has company. This Asiatic bear has spotted the young gibbon and starts to climb. Realizing it's in imminent danger, the youngster's mother rushes to the scene. And guides it back to the safety of the canopy. These bears are armed with inch-long curved claws and flesh-tearing teeth. This youngster has had a lucky escape. But distracted by the gibbon, the bear has allowed another male to venture too close. He rushes to defend his territory. This is a battle of heavyweights. An adult bear can weigh twice as much as a grown man. The intruder soon gets the message that this is one opponent not to be messed with. To escape danger, the defeated male climbs up into the canopy. He's wisely chosen a branch that isn't strong enough to hold both of them. But with the other males still in the area, it could be hours before it's safe to come down. All he can do is wait. Indochina's landscape is one of the most dramatic on Earth. But less than 50 years ago, this region was ravaged by conflict. During the Vietnam War, US forces unleashed a rain of bombs and herbicides that destroyed vast tracts of forest, leaving the land war-torn and barren. But nature was not to be defeated. Soon after the guns fell silent, a remarkable regeneration began. One amazing example of this can be found in Vietnam's rice paddies. Bombs were dropped on these fields in an effort to flush out the Viet Cong army. On impact, they created deep craters. But once the war was over, these depressions filled up during the monsoon, and in no time at all became home to an abundance of life. Whole communities have grown up around these craters, making a living from fishing in these thriving lakes. The miracle of nature's power to restore itself didn't stop there. The region's dense tropical jungles also quickly recovered, partly down to one of the fastest growing plants on the planet: bamboo. In just 24 hours, it can attain a height of over 3 feet. And the taller it rises, the faster the growth rate. In a matter of days, it can tower above trees that have been established for decades. Essentially a giant species of grass, bamboo grows the breadth of Indochina. It plays a key role across the entire ecosystem, and many species rely on it for their survival. One in particular loves to eat the young plants, causing them to mysteriously disappear. Bamboo rats can weigh more than 9 pounds and reach over 1.5 feet in length. They spend their entire lives digging tunnels under the forest floor to access the fresh roots of the delicious bamboo. Once located, the stems are cut free and dragged underground. The bamboo rat's sense of smell is so acute, it can detect any fresh growth through the compact soil. Powerful claws assist its oversized teeth as it excavates new tunnels. This female has a family. Her youngsters are just a few weeks old, but have already developed a taste for the succulent stems. Luckily for them, bamboo's phenomenal success story means they're unlikely to run out of food anytime soon. Indochina's landscape is shaped by weather systems. Particularly that of Cambodia, where the ebb and flow of water has created some of the most unique ecosystems on the planet. In the forests and grasslands of the northern plains, the dry season is drawing to an end. Wildlife here relies on the annual arrival of the monsoon. And everything is waiting for the rain. Desperate animals congregate around depleted waterholes, but predators could be watching. A group of wild pigs risks a brief visit. And then hurries back to the safety of the forest. Food is getting scarce, and it's a daily challenge to find it. For this nervous deer, the algae that grows on a shrinking pool provides valuable protein. Giant ibis probe the rapidly disappearing mud in search of their next meal. Forced to forage ever closer together in the shrinking wetlands. But for some, the rains will come too late. A red-headed vulture circles overhead. Spotting an animal carcass, it quickly drops down to join the feast. Vultures are Indochina's top scavengers, clearing up dry season casualties. White-rumped vultures have already secured prime position on the carcass. But with every minute, more birds turn up and squabbles begin to break out. Crops become full as the birds eat everything they can get hold of. Within 40 minutes, all that is left is a pile of bones. But there is a change coming with the breeze. And the surviving wildlife can sense it. The long-awaited monsoon season has arrived, triggering new life and a bounty of food. In the now damp northern forests, the air rumbles with the sound of giants. Indochina's jungles are home to a significant population of Asian elephants. Smaller than their African cousins, they are constantly on the move in search of food and water. For this group, the showers herald a bounty, which is just as well, as they need to eat 1/10 of their body weight every day and can spend 3/4 of it grazing. The rains have made the forests hot and very humid, and for elephants, it can be hard to cool down. Flapping their ears to cool the blood flowing through them helps regulate their body temperature. But sometimes, it's just not enough. Now that a previously dry riverbed is flowing once again, this matriarch leads her family to take a refreshing dip. Elephants enjoy swimming and are very at home in the water. And they're not alone. For these macaques, the growing pools and streams are a perfect playground. But not for long. Showers give way to torrential downpours as the full force of the rains hits Indochina. Streams are transformed. Rivers rage. Waterfalls overflow. All this water empties into the Mother River, the mighty Mekong, one of the world's great rivers. As it flows south through Indochina, in northern Cambodia, it goes through a dramatic transformation. During the monsoon, the Mekong floods and becomes a giant. It increases 20 times in size and rises another 33 feet. By the height of the rains, the volume of water coursing south is so large that when the river meets a tributary of the Tonle Sap Lake, it reverses its flow, flooding the lake. In the wet season, Tonle Sap grows to over 5 times its size, becoming a vast inland sea, which submerges surrounding fields and forests. At this time, the lake becomes a habitat for millions of breeding fish and nesting water birds. It's also home to communities of floating villages. Over 1 million people live here, making their living by fishing. For these lake residents, the monsoon is a time of bounty. But for the Burmese pythons that inhabit the surrounding forest, the flood brings problems. If they're to eat, they need to travel between the patches of trees in which they can hunt their prey of mammals and birds. And now they find themselves with large areas of water to cross. But the pythons have a solution. These snakes are excellent swimmers and can travel long distances. And occasionally, when snakes do get into trouble, help comes in an unlikely form. Unsuspecting fishermen can provide a lifeline. Their boats give the snakes somewhere to climb out and rest. Stowing away might even get a python a free ride to a new hunting ground. In this unique ecosystem, one of the richest wetlands on the planet, the new life triggered by Indochina's monsoon comes in all shapes and sizes. This region is home to an incredible diversity of insect species. In Vietnam alone, there are more varieties of butterfly than the total found in the continents of Europe and Australia combined. And the rains of the wet season bring a population boom. Insect predators are poised and ready. An orchid mantis evolved to hunt on and around plants. It has taken on the general shape and color of certain flowers. Studies suggest that to its prey, it's more attractive than actual orchids themselves. The green mantis doesn't have such advanced techniques, but it is equally as deadly. The secret to its success is its eyesight, much sharper than many other insects. Two large compound eyes sit at the edges of a triangular head, which can turn 180 degrees. Three smaller, simpler eyes sit in the middle. It gives the mantis a 300-degree field of vision, and at close range, it becomes 3D. When it spots prey, several facets of its eyes line up, a black dot that resembles a pupil. It's deadly accurate. But mantids have an even darker side. Wandering into another mantid's patch is a very risky affair. Mantids are highly territorial. Intrusions are rarely tolerated. In the blink of an eye, it's all over. Front legs with rows of spikes ensure the intruder won't get away. Cutting and chewing jaws make quick work of dissecting the unfortunate individual. Cannibalism is common among mantids, and nothing will go to waste. In Vietnam's Mekong Delta, the monsoon-swollen Mother River flows into the South China Sea. Here, at the country's southernmost tip, the coastline is fringed by mangrove forests. This habitat, though substantially destroyed during the Vietnam War, is one of the most extensive and diverse mangrove ecosystems in the world. Halfway points between land and sea, mangroves are extreme tidal zones where the world changes from a saltwater seascape to an exposed mudflat every 6 hours. This ecosystem is home to one of the planet's most fascinating fish, the mudskipper, as perfectly at home out of the water as in. This fish can actually walk on land. Using its fins like legs, the amazing little mudskipper breathes air through its skin and carries a bubble of oxygen-rich water in its gill chambers, like a scuba diver's tank. It feeds on microscopic organisms, which it filters out of the silt, so it can only eat when the mud is exposed. The receding tide triggers a frenzy of activity, and with just a few hours before the sea floods back again, it's every mudskipper for himself. Disagreements over grazing territory can lead to tussles with neighbors. The flash of a fin is usually enough to let others know that this spot is taken. But fights, involving much mouth gaping, can break out. At high tide, they retreat into burrows to stay out of the way of predatory fish and await the coming ebb. in this singular halfway habitat between land and sea. Despite the ecological ravages of war, Indochina's forests harbour some of the most exceptional wildlife on Earth. Within the borders of Vietnam, whose landscape was most war-torn, can be found around 850 species of bird. Scarlet minivets and nectar-feeding sunbirds add colour throughout the jungle terrain. But one feathered resident of Vietnam's northern mountainous range shines like a neon beacon. This eye-catching pheasant is known as a tragopan. It's the mating season. And this male has spotted some potential company. Male tragopans are one of the most conspicuous birds in the world. And this individual is doing everything he can to impress. As part of the display, he inflates his horns and multicolored wattle to appear powerful and robust. Unfortunately, this female appears unimpressed by the male's peekaboo game. But he's not giving up. And seeing his chance, he makes his move. Indochina's mountain forests and upland woodlands are also home to a species which is just as tenacious, if far less conspicuous. A type of turtle that has taken to hunting exclusively on land. Keeled box turtles get their name from the large keels or ridges running along their upper shell. This individual spends most of its life rooting through leaf litter on the forest floor, in search of fallen fruit, insects, and the occasional worm. Earthworms play a key role in the fertility of soil here. Just 10 square feet of forest floor can contain over 1,000 of these nutrient-producing invertebrates. But for a worm, raising your head above the trenches in box turtle territory is asking for trouble. This reptile may have fairly poor hearing, but its full colored eyesight and sense of smell are excellent. Like a cheetah chasing an antelope, the odds surrounding this outcome appear fairly evenly matched. Despite being one of the slowest predator-prey encounters on record, for the turtle, it is one of the most rewarding. Because this meal is over 80% pure protein. The keeled box turtle, one of the many species which makes Indochina one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. Indochina is a land of surprises. And at the northern tip of Cambodia's Tonle Sap Lake lies one of the most spectacular. Angkor, an ancient city filled with hundreds of temples, seat of the medieval Khmer Empire. Nearly 1 million people lived within it, and their survival was dependent on the monsoon rains. Angkor's location wasn't chosen for religious or cultural reasons. Tonle Sap was to the Khmers what the Nile was to the Egyptians. The Khmers perfected the art of harvesting water, building a complex system of dikes, canals, bridges, and reservoirs. But being so reliant on the yearly rains was their ultimate downfall. Failing monsoons and extreme drought caused the Khmer civilization to collapse. These once bustling temples now stand silent. Some have even been reclaimed by the jungle and its wildlife. At night, one of their most bizarre inhabitants comes out to hunt. Weaver ants living here will aggressively defend their territories against any intruders. But one predator is well prepared. Despite its reptilian appearance, the pangolin is actually an insect-eating nocturnal mammal. Its body is covered by an armor of hard overlapping scales made of keratin. It's the only known mammal with this adaptation. They thrive on a diet of ants and termites, but having poor vision, they rely on their strong sense of smell to find them. This individual has picked up the scent. Homing in on the nest, the ants stand little chance against the 19-inch long tongue covered in sticky saliva. They come out attacking, but it's futile. Pangolins can close their nostrils and ears, and thick lids protect their eyes. Having no teeth, ants are swallowed whole, and a stomach lined with spines helps to finish them off. Termed a walking pine cone, this unique mammal is undoubtedly one of the most weird inhabitants of this spellbinding habitat. Some of the wildlife that's made a home of ancient Angkor is as magical as the buildings themselves. A tree nymph caterpillar climbs its favorite plant, dogbane. These plants wage war on leaf eaters, filling their foliage with toxins. But this cunning technique doesn't always work. The poison they produce actually makes them more desirable to the tree nymph caterpillar. It carefully severs the stem carrying the toxins, limiting the amount it consumes when eating the leaf. Too much would be lethal. In this way, the caterpillar itself, just like the plant, becomes toxic to predators. Within 2 weeks, the caterpillar has doubled in size. It weaves a silk pad on a leaf and suspends itself using barbed hooks. What happens next is a biological miracle. A hard cocoon protects it as cells slowly change and it starts to transform. 2 weeks later, the metamorphosis is complete. And a stunning butterfly enters the world. The tree nymph. Slowly, it pumps blood into its wings. They take a few minutes to dry, then it's time for the first flight. But freedom is short-lived. An orb weaver spiderweb snares it. The outcome seems inevitable. But something about the butterfly doesn't taste quite right. The spider cuts its captive free. The poison that was in the caterpillar is now in the butterfly, and it's this that saved its life. The temple ruins will be its home until it finds a mate, sows the seeds of the next generation, and then dies. And so the circle of life goes on. Indochina, 3 ancient kingdoms whose incredible landscapes teem with wildlife. Shaped by the forces of the monsoon and the mighty Mother River. Ravaged by war, but risen from the ashes. Home to some of the most unique ecosystems on the planet. And one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth.